would be great. It'll help me collate all of them and be able to answer them, whether we can do that now or we will have to get more information. The biggest thing I just want to highlight now is PAX Day is brand new. So we are the first people that are going to be playing this for early access. It is an evolving game. It has been highly established that the game is not finished. So things are going to move, things are going to change, and we just have to do our best to keep up with them. And I guess between preview week and today, we've had a lot of work to do to get things underway. So please bear with us as we push through. So any questions that get put in there are definitely valid. It's just a matter of how we got to that point yet that we can answer them and complete those tasks for you if required. So, all right, well, I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully this one works a bit better than the microphone did. So I'm going to share screens, cancel this one, move Discord over there. Let's see if I can share a presentation. I'm going to rely on you guys to be able to tell me. I'm used to doing this on Microsoft Teams, so that'd be right. Went on the wrong screen, didn't it? We're a few back. Okay. Oz, can you guys see the presentation on the screen? Day one planned PAX Day? Anybody? No, in the chat. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. It's hard not having the visual and audio feedback to understand what people are seeing and what they can, what you can do. So I do need to ask a favour. If anything goes wrong, please jump into the push yourself forward as a speaker. All the preview week people that you have access to jump up to speak. So please let me know.
I'm just going to hijack for a sec, guys. If you're getting an echo, right-click on his slide and click mute. That'll get rid of the echo. Cheers.
So I think, Microsoft Teams is far better for this. Excellent. Thanks, Judge. All right, I'll get started. So what we're going to go through today, we'll push through as best as I can. And just quickly to answer, where's your question, Oz, in regard to your keys? I believe, yes, you'll get them on the 18th if you've purchased them. Agenda. So we'll go through the introduction, who we are, what we do, server selection. So that's the biggest one that we really need to do. Our welcome pack. So we've got a welcome pack for everyone that we'll send out after this. Just how that works. Kingdom and village structure. I think that's very important to discuss. Roles and responsibilities, who everyone is and what they're going to do. Clan rank progression. So letting everyone know how to progress. It's just not a stagnant clan. There is opportunity within the clan in the ranks. Village allocation, so where people are going to be situated. Plan on day one, probably the most important thing to get started. Communication channels. So communication is massive when we're trying to organize something like this. So we need to make sure everyone's on the same page when it comes to communicating and where to communicate. And a few closing statements. So introduction. So we're Shipwrecked. So esports community that thrive on playing games. We were founded many years ago with a group of mates, and we've all branched off in different areas, playing different sorts of games. Part of what I've enjoyed playing is MMOs and large community games, and this is where I've stepped in and have this channel. But you may have played games in the past where you probably have seen the Shipwreck name pop up before. It is quite common, and in the sense that we do like to get involved in other games, mainly in Australia. So you probably see them on the Australian servers. So in America and other countries, not so much, but we do enjoy jumping across. But what you're joining today, that is what you're joining. It's almost a lifestyle. It's not not just a group for a game. It's a lifestyle choice that we pick and enjoy and continue to grow. I'm Fireplay, so the person speaking, part of Shipwrecked, original founder with some of the other boys that had created it. Here are a few of my contact details if you need to find me. So we have our Discord, our Twitch and our Twitter. I do enjoy the MMO scene and the larger community, so that gives me the motivation to push through and gets things like this sorted and organised. So I really enjoy it. So it's not something that's going to start today and finish tomorrow. It's something I continue. And as I said, it's a lifestyle choice. So it will continue and it will grow. And hopefully with all you lovely people as well. So first off the ranks, now that the formalities are done and you know who I am and what we do, server selection. So I've just taken a screenshot from some data that we've been collecting over the last 24 hours since the servers have been announced. And 100 people have responded to this survey. The question that was asked is, what are you considering joining? So it's not what are you joining, it's where you're going. It's what would you consider as a server. And this is just a sample size of a very small sample size across the board. But what I can safely say from this sample size, it seems pretty consistent. So Prometheus, I know that has been put up as a PvP server. Most people have been pushing that as a PvP server. And Lord Scar, 100% select them all because we are considering all of them. And that's the goal, is to understand, okay, well, is anyone not being chosen or is one being chosen? It just gives you a little bit more of an informed decision. So we don't need to base our decision in this data. It's just to show what 100 people have selected. Some people have thrown around role play, and I was curious myself, and like, where's that going to sit versus a PvP server versus the other servers. So what we are going to do, one thing we can say is we are going to go to an NA server. So the top 5 there, we will be selecting one from there. Now, what we're going to do. It is a very even sample size. I would like a few more. I thought it would have been it got a few more answers. But what I'm going to do, which I think I can do here, I'm going to put a poll. I can put a poll in the chat. And the way we're going to select their servers, we'll put a poll in the chat. Everyone can select a server of only one, what they choose, knowing that Prometheus is going to be the PvP. Frasier seems to be quite popular from one extent. And Selene and I can't even say the other one, are just sitting there in the background. So they're probably going to be a less populated server versus the other lot. So I'm just writing the polling now. What server would you like to play on? I'm going to shorthand this. So it's not going to be the full name. So you'll get it once the questions pop up. So I've got Prom, Frey, Celine's easy to write, and then the last one, however you say that, I'm not sure. I'm going to allow multiple answers. So if you have, or no, I won't actually. I won't allow multiple answers because one may be populated more than another. So I'm going to post that. If you could just pop in your selection or what you would like, or where you'd like to go for a server, put that in there. It may need to come to an executive decision at the end. I've got my preference and I've just voted. And it's moving. Tell you that much. Some people currently sitting on the fence. Oh, I forgot one. I apologise. I forgot one. Sorry, guys. I need to cancel that and start it again. I forgot one server. Because I need to know. How did I miss that one? Yeah, I'm doing this again. I'm just writing it up. Prom, Frey, Celine, CERN, and what's the last one? Denu. Both. Sorry, Lily, we're not doing the AU. We're based on everyone in the game. Majority of our players are from the NA, so will tailor for that, or cater for that, sorry. Yeah, Horatio, I do not go to servers that I can't pronounce. So we have 26 people in the audience and we have 21 votes, 22 votes. All right, we've got 24 votes. So there's 2 people that haven't voted, so they may be in the car just listening in. But it does, the 2 votes wouldn't mean anything. So look, it looks like, congratulations everyone, we're going Freya. So I'm quite happy with that, to be honest, because I think that's that was my personal preference. I might be biased, but I wasn't going to give you that opinion. Excellent. Server selected. So we can move on from that and we don't have to have a debate, which is fantastic. And the reason, yes, so why we didn't go to a EU server or C server. So majority of our players are from North America. So just to cater for them, ideally I would have liked a North American West server being in Australia. And the other reason we didn't go to the C server is purely because we are an English-speaking country. It was going to be dominated by Asia. It'd be hard to communicate and trade and actually do the things we want to do in game. Regardless of picking role player, picking it or not picking it, I feel that role playing is also is in the game regardless if you're in a role playing server or not. So I think we need some of that. Oz veteran, and there's always a chance that you're going to get there's a higher chance that they're going to be hackers within C, yes. Just from personal experiences being in Australia. So, next one. So after this, I'm going to be sending out, or I'll put in the Discord and then I'll probably send it out via email if you've registered through the registration, is a welcome document through Paxday. What this gives you is a mission statement, a vision statement, our purpose, the kingdom's values and the kingdom's rules, and a few FAQs. So when everyone registered for the clan, there was a few questions asked at the end. And what I did, I collated those questions, put them together, put them in the FAQ statement, just so everyone could get their answers, questions answered. So that will come out. So have a read of that. It's just an 8-page document with a few bits and pieces, but it clearly defines who we are and what we do and why we're doing it. So that will clear up a few of those questions for you, which is really good. And they're just the fundamental foundations of what the clan is and how we do things. But how do we actually do them is probably this section here, and that's the kingdom and village structure. And so a lot of questions have been asked. What is the kingdom? What is the village? What are the lords and so forth? And how do we work? So the way the kingdom is going to work, and this is mainly for the security and protection of most people. So currently the game doesn't allow a very complex structure and rules around that. So the way we've set this up is essentially the way they would have done back in the day when it was medieval times. We will have a kingdom, and within that kingdom we'll have our high council. And in that high council, and I'll go through in a second, all our roles to how to run the kingdom, protect the kingdom, build the kingdom. But under the high council, we'll then have lords, and lords are the people that are part of the kingdom, but run their own village. And a village is a place where the lord owns their own land, their own clan, which will be in the game, and then villages underneath. So it's essentially set up exactly the same as a kingdom. A lord can have blacksmiths and leather workers and gatherers, tailorers, and build a village just under themselves. And that's how that will work. And from there, that will allow give everyone protection against, let's just say, infiltrators or people that may come into the village and take stuff, destroy stuff. Because at any one point in time, anyone can walk into a clan and have access to all clan features. And if we were to let someone into the kingdom straight away, they could take everything, they could destroy everything, come back online the next day and it will be depleted. So to protect us from that and also give people opportunities to grow in their own rights, we've set it up in this way. So just to go through how this works exactly. So one thing I just saw in my notes here, how does why, not just the security reason to why we have villages, we also have a structure in place where the kingdom will support the lords and the villages. So the way that this is done is majority of the kingdom are going to be full-time players. They're going to be on there a lot. They're going to be real focused and dedicated towards the king, if you want to put it that way, and the realm that they live in. So they'll be crafting and building, and there was going to be a lot of excess resources. So for example, we might have 20 iron pickaxes. Those 20 iron pickaxes will have a dedicated area that we can make public for our villagers, where people can, from a village, who might be a casual player, a solo player even, come in, go, oh, geez, I can't chop the next level of wood because I'm at least 4 days of grinding away before I can make my iron pickaxe. There may be one left over from the kingdom, and that's how we'll support the villagers in their endeavours trying to move forward. So we have made this also more accessible for people that prefer to solo play, but by being in a village. Contribute to the village, but you don't necessarily need to go out and do all those activities being part of the village. So there's a lot of reasons for this structure, but it's all able to help a lot of people having this structure. So what I'm going to go from top down, because there's probably still a lot of questions in regard to this structure. No slaves yet, Lord Scar. No taxes, definitely no taxes. And it works vice versa. So if the kingdom does need help, the kingdom will call out to the lords and say, Lords, I need help, whether it may be a resource constraint, a military constraint. That's all part of the welcome document. But at times, yes, you'll be required to, if there's a large siege battle, we may need to ask for your assistance, and we'll deck you out in military gear, and then we'll have a large military under the king and force on any of those things that come within the game. So just looking at the organizational chart, so it is structured very heavily like a business, looking at the medieval times and terminology, but also like a business. If we are going to have a large community and an ongoing community, there needs to be some form of structure in place to make sure we're doing this the right way. So what's going to happen is we are going to start from the top. So we are going to have a god. So a god is, for example, just like a board of a director. It doesn't get involved too much within the day-to-day, but oversees everything to make sure there's a direction. As you saw within the welcome statement, we have a vision for the community. And now it makes sure everything's running properly, which I'll probably be taking that role. So I'll sit back and watch and just guide and help and do those bits and pieces. Then we'll move into our king, queen, or both. So we are looking for these roles, by the way. So if any of these roles do interest you, please make it known and let me know. So the king and queen will oversee everything, and that's where they'll get in the day-to-day to make sure that everyone under them is doing their task, but also adding direction. So if there's a military conflict, the king will make the call. Let's go. We're going to declare war against this area, or we need to clear this dungeon because our priority is getting magic gear or whatever that is. Next to that, we have the hand of the king. So someone who assists the king still has a lot of power. So it's not just a PA. Also has a lot of power, but assists the king when the king's not available, able to do other tasks that are required that the king can't do because they're currently busy. I'll go through the other 6, the main ones, and you'll see a bit more detail on these in a second. So we have a pope. So as we know, religion's going to come up in the game. So we do have a pope to look after the religion side of things. But the pope is a very highly respected person within the realm. They also own majority of the land. So they're also responsible for resources. So we're going to put resources as a responsibility of the pope. So if there's a priority on the resources, the pope will essentially use his people to collect them, or just advise the king, say, look, we need to send everyone one out to collect iron ore. It's the only thing we need. This is what's holding us back. And Pope will and have his say there and work on that. Lord Chancellor, he's responsible for, or he or she is responsible for the people. So a whole lot of recruitment. As we start and the clan grows, there are going to be people that are going to want to join us. The Lord Chancellor will essentially be our HR and go through all those recruitment details and make sure that they do the step up and through the village, any promotions to Lord, to apprentice, to blacksmith or anything like that. But they're also the person who's in charge of the rules. So if anyone is doing anything unfairly, essentially if anyone needs to get booted from the clan for doing something we don't like, the Lord Chancellor will be the one in charge to make sure that that's identified and dealt with. Then we'll have a Master Mason. So the Master Mason's in charge of the overall construction of the city. That is roads, buildings, so forth. So they're the ones to make sure that there is a design plan in place for the whole entire city, and we'll go through that. So we'll need to. That's a very important task in itself. Then we have the Master of Coin. The Master of Coin is responsible for our financial obligations and governing any of that health. So if we're lacking on, and I don't know how this is actually going to populate within the game yet, but we are future planning to make sure that from an administrative standpoint, the kingdom is fruitful in whatever its ventures are, making sure, for example, if someone goes, we're going to send everyone out in blacksmith gear, in iron gear or steel gear, and we're going to go do this dungeon. The Master of Coin might step in and go, look, we're sort of lacking in this financial area. That's probably not a good investment as yet. So it might deter us from doing a large-scale invasion because the reward may not be as profitable from one thing to another. Then we have the King's Guard. So the King's Guard is obviously looking after our military, making sure that everyone has their armour, their swords, and bits and pieces. And also helps determine who we're going to battle, when we're going to battle, and making sure that structure in place. Based on the minimal amount of PvP we currently have, thanks, Oz Veteran. We'll definitely take that, have a look into that. The King's Guard is, from the PvP that we've done so far, there is definitely some strategy in regards to how a battle is played out. Just going into dungeons, making sure you have that shield wall in front, the guys with spears behind, because there's no friendly fire. You can put the spears straight through the guys in front holding the shields. And I think that, that they're tactics that we need to think of, and the King's Guard will be responsible for that strategy. And then we have our lords, and the lords are pretty much one of the most important people in the High Council. So this is the High Council. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. The lords, as I said, look after the villages, and the lords have a massive role, as in they are part of the High Council. They do have a voice to the king, but they're also responsible for their villages. And if you're in a village, making sure that you're looked after, it's the right direction, and so forth. And then the second level, so reporting lines, and I'll go through this one quickly. So the King's Guard, being responsible for all the things armour, blacksmithing, fletching, leatherworking, weaponsmithing, and tailoring. They all align in the centre when things get crafted. They eventually turn out to be armour or weapons. So all of them fall under the King's Guard. So obviously when we're not fighting, we need a task for him to do, so he can look after them from that standpoint, making sure the responsibility is that the kingdom is decked out with what they need. Then we have the Master Mason, as I said, responsible for the kingdom and its design. And then we have our carpenters. So our carpenters are the ones that learn all the bits and pieces of how to craft. They're the ones that will have all the materials. They're the ones that will build. So the way they work is they will work with each profession in regard to their station, and they say, essentially, someone walk into your house. So I'm an armour smith. I have my own house. The carpenter comes in. He just doesn't build it. I say, carpenter, this is what I'd like. Can we get that done? And then the carpenter will walk in and get that completed for you. And then the Pope. So the Pope is looking after every other profession. So as I said, looks after resources. So we've got the alchemy, the baking, the charcuterie, cooking, herbalist, jewelry making, winemaking. Very important tasks as well. Overseeing, make sure they've got the resources, and then the gatherer. So they've got the resources to do what they need to do to essentially feed the kingdom and the armies. There's not just one role here. So, for example, gatherer is not just one gatherer. Gatherer is definitely one way to step into the kingdom. So if you've earned the respect and the law, and you've essentially worked your way into the kingdom, you could start off as a gatherer, just gathering for the kingdom. You can do branch across multiple tasks, but you all have a main task. So promotion structure. The promotion, how that works. So obviously if you're in a village, you may have aspirations to go, well, I don't want to be in a village. I prefer to be in the kingdom and be part of the kingdom. Even though the whole thing is a kingdom, it's just laid out this way because the game doesn't allow us to structure it the way we need it to. There is a promotion structure. So once you join a village, essentially you need to prove yourself to the kingdom to be able to join the kingdom, at that risk of you could come in and do things that we don't want. So these are the ways that we've been able to give people the ability to join the kingdom. So one is the apprentice structure. So every profession is going to require an apprentice. So if we'll allocate a master blacksmither, our goal in the kingdom is to make sure they get leveled up as quickly as possible and as high as possibly can. And they have an apprentice that was also learning the craft and learning the skills of that area. So that's one way to progress. So if you want to become an apprentice to a certain area in the kingdom, you can definitely make that known, and we can look at promoting you into that area. And then no one is locked into a village as well. So at any time, there's always a chance to join the kingdom. So you don't need to be an apprentice. So that's, like I said, that was one way. So the second way is you don't need to be an apprentice. If you've shown loyalty and, you've gained trust to the kingdom, there's always a position in the kingdom. So you come in and, we can have a second apprentice. We can have other gatherers. We just have you part of the kingdom as a royalty as such, doing your own thing. So there's plenty of opportunity to join the kingdom in that sense. So don't feel that you're stuck to a village. The goal is to essentially have everyone part of the kingdom. But the village is essentially a vetting process, but it also gives you the opportunity to grow your own villages as your own little kingdoms under the guidance of the kingdom. So village allocations. People are going to say, okay, well, am I a village? Am I part of the kingdom? Everyone's going to start off, other than the people who did the preview week, everyone else is going to start off as in a village. It's essentially a place where you can learn and grow and understand your crafts. And I think that's very important, starting this game, is to understand the game. So you may think that you can go in and make a sword straight away. You'll soon realize that's near impossible, and you'll be doing a lot of work just to get to that point. So what we're going to do, we're going to allocate villages, or the people into the villages over the next 24 hours. So we'll update you tomorrow with where we've allocated them. But you have preferences of which village you want to be in, or you want to play with someone, you can highlight it as well. Or you can change at any point. It's like, well, I'm not enjoying the village I'm in. Can I go to this village? Because I've been actually working with this guy and he's been pretty cool, and I want to, I'd rather be in the village with them. We can do that, but I'll put that up live because from the data that I've gotten from the applications, there's a lot of people that have put in all these roles that they would like to choose. I'm just trying to divide them up. So we have a blacksmith in each village, and we have a carpenter in each village, and so on. But that will be live, and feedback definitely using Discord as a way to let me know. So a lot of the structure there and a lot of words said. Apologies if there's any questions that have popped up that I haven't answered yet. I will go through them through the clean questions on the left there at the end. But day one plans. So there's two main things that we need to do on day one. So first one is each Lord King will create their clan. Obviously, when we create a clan, there's got to be a name to it. So what we're going to do after this is we're going to open it up and have a chat to the Lord and say, okay, well, what do you want to name your clan? What do you want to name your village? So ideally, it would be in the same, similar to Shipwrecked, in the sense that we know we're all together across the realm. Everyone knows, that's a Shipwrecked kingdom. But we'll discuss those names and we'll get some ideas and we'll put them up, a part of the village allocation. And then each villager will then apply for the clan. So what will happen is you'll enter the kingdom, you'll enter the game, you'll get to where we need to go. The Lord or King will create the clan, and then because you know the name of the clan, you search the clan, and then you apply to join that clan and you accept it. That's very important because when we put the plots down, we need to be in the same clan. After the clan's created, we essentially on the journey or beforehand, we'll be on our way to our locations. So we have locations in mind. The leaders will take you to your locations where we'll set everything up, and the plots will then be placed down in order. So there will be an order mainly the king will have it has a current structure, the way that land will be set out, but then the villages as well. So the Lord will direct everyone where to put the plots for their area. So one thing I highly encourage, and this is a discussion obviously based on how many plots you have, ideally we will highly encourage you keep one plot for yourself. You can keep more than one plot. That's completely up to you. There's no buy-in for this at all. Would like you to have one plot for yourself that you can place with the kingdom, or you can place away from the kingdom. That's yours. That's your house, your building, your private boxes. So if you log off at the night and you've got all your nice bits and pieces that you had on for the day before, you can place them in the boxes. If you're working up crafting to a certain thing that it's not a priority on the kingdom list, but it's a priority for you, obviously you can have your bits and pieces. So we really would encourage that. And what it does, it also creates a nice little village on the outside of the kingdom. If you're connecting to the kingdom, the little huts and the fences and the little farmland and stuff like that. So I highly encourage that. But we also would like, obviously, your donation of a plot to the kingdom. So a clan plot. So, for example, I have 4 plots. I'm going to put 3 into the kingdom, and then I'll keep 1 for myself. So when I'm finished doing my bits and pieces of the day in the kingdom, I can go off to my little private plot and tinker around with whatever I have. But that will be discussed on launch day. So if you can, actually, we may even just try to figure out how many plots we've got. But based on the number of people, we found from preview week, we've got more than enough plots than we need. But we probably may identify that a little bit earlier. But that's yet to be discussed. Question, is plot allocation for the village designated by the Lord, or can villagers place their plots as they see fit? I think it'd be good if there's some direction from the Lord in regard to, okay, well, this is where we're going to build our little area. As long as they're linked, I think that's the main thing. But if someone says, oh, as a villager, well, no, I don't want to build with you guys, well, maybe they'll be against what we want as a villager, because we are a group, we are consolidated, and we want to work together. So yes, the Lord would like to have some direction in those plots provided. Now, for the main castle, you need how many plots? That it will be determined before we get into the game, but I can guarantee we do have more plots than we actually need for the main castle. We're currently working that out, and that's probably today's job that we'll be doing. But let me get through it so we can get through this, and we'll get through the questions. So the site location, so we're going to create staging areas. Staging areas will be provided 24 hours prior to release. We have 2 locations in mind. We have identified 2 locations. So I'll let you know where those 2 locations are. The only reason I can't give them just yet is obviously anyone in this audience may or may not be in the group or where this information would go. So 24 hours prior, we'll release where our locations will be, and then we'll set up staging areas. That's just a place where we can put our bits and pieces down, crafting tables and so forth, just to get started, so we can build the areas that we need. So big one, communication. If we don't have communication, we're going to fail. Massive, important task is to, obviously, if you have any questions, any concerns, you know something, you want to know something, is definitely communicate that in the Discord channel. Discord is our main form of communication. So we are going to create dedicated village channels for everyone. So we'll have dedicated village text and voice that you can join. And then we'll obviously have a few other bits and pieces. So there might be some specialty channels in regard to crafting and so forth, military and whatnot. But that will be evolved. That will evolve as the game evolves, and we figure out, okay, what is it that we actually need versus what we don't need. Filling the Discord with all of these channels that potentially aren't used, there's no point. So as we have a requirement, we'll build it. So finally, questions. We finally got there. So thanks for sticking in there. That was a lot. I need a drink. So what I'm going to do, I'm just quickly just skimming the comments right now. Thanks, Judge. I'm going to go through, open up the clan question, see what's in there. There's no clan questions. Let's go back to the Prezzo. So nothing's put anything in clan. Let's see if there's anything in chat. Have we got a plan for Osmond Gold? He wants to take over the world. Oz Veteran, the plan is as long as we get our plots down, we have nothing to worry about. That's the main thing, just getting our plots down. Oh, what's this one? So I'm just reading. Where did that one go? I was a veteran. We're responsible for crafting side of the kingdom. Is anyone responsible for the crafting side of the kingdom? Yes. So there will be a designated designer of the kingdom. So I would like to have a design of the kingdom in the sense that we keep to a similar, what's the word? Let's just say a similar palette across the board. We don't want it too chaotic. So it does need to look like a kingdom. It cannot be chaotic with just buildings and plants and seats and benches and boxes everywhere. What min number of people need to make a village? So Thor, what we're going to do, so currently we have 100 people registered within the clan. Ideally, I'm going to have 15 people per village. They're the rough numbers. That will also give you the opportunity to have someone dedicated, specialising in a profession. So you'll have your village and everyone specialises in their own professions. We had preview week 22 people in the clan, but from that we probably had 12 that were dedicated, that were actually on. And with 12 people, we found that quite comfortable getting things done. It was far more cohesive working with the smaller number rather than working with a large number. So that's where we'll probably sit. Whoop! Once you get involved, you'll feel more at home. It's quite easy to get into and get swept up. People here, all our clans, or is there more here? We've got some alliances here, Lord Scar. I can see some people in the chat definitely that may be more alliance bred than clan, but things to have a look at for sure. Yes, just a message. Me loves to answer questions. So if you have questions after this, please use the clan questions. So under the PAX Day channel where it says announcements, under that says clan questions. Just chuck a question there. There's no stupid questions. I'll just use ChatGPT. If it's a stupid question, you might get a stupid answer. Be also good if there's a groups form before we want to join in it. Sorry for Rachel. I think you're saying, yeah, it's be good if there's groups formed. So we will definitely align the groups and the villages. So we'll make them known within the next 24 hours. Will villages be adjacent to the kingdom? So we do have two locations in place. So one is not next to the kingdom. One location is not next to the kingdom at all, but it's a very nice area that people may want to build. We could have 2 or 3 villages right next to each other. There's no problem saying, okay, well, village 1, 2, and 3, whatever names they are, they want to build their own little kingdom out somewhere in this second site. They can still all do their own things next to each other. Ideally, we'd like to have them as close as possible because I think having a look at it, overall, just at the end of the day, everyone who's joining at early access stays throughout the game, or progresses up through the ranks, and everyone joins the kingdom. It is going to be one massive kingdom, and to join them, there's going to be a hell of a task, and I think it will be a good task to do. I think on a serious note, we definitely should find where Asmongold is planning to play. That server will get reamed. If we do judge, I think that would be a good point. But at the same time, I don't know if necessarily all those players stick around, and that's the big thing. Who sticks around and who doesn't? I can't be president at EA just a few hours later, but I'll try to get all good, Lord Scar. Don't stress if you, and that's another thing. If you can't be there within the first minute, don't stress. We'll do our best, obviously, to hold the plots off. The big reason to getting the plots down quickly is we do need to try to get everyone in. There's a chance that the server or that shard may be full, and then when it gets time to put your plot down, it may be taken. So we've got two areas, and in worst case scenario, if we get stuck, we're just going to have to, and as I said right at the beginning, we do have to be agile, and we'll have to think on our feet and work that way. You can have different characters in different clans. Oh, yep. So you can create different characters. The hard thing is playing this game with multiple characters. I think would be very difficult. One suggestion was someone was set up as a military character and someone set up as a crafting character. So it was time to go to battle. One had more skills than the other, which was quite interesting. Thor, there isn't a maximum number of plots per homeland. I don't know what it is though. I don't know what the number's going to be. What time does the service start on the 18th? So for me, I would have to get up here. For me, it's 10 p.m. So if you just want to type into Google 10 p.m. AEST, so Australian Eastern Standard Time, then Google will translate it to your time zone. But I assume if you're in Sydney, it's 10 p.m. If we pick the same province, same valley, suck. That is a problem, Scar. So that's why we're going to get that. We have to deplete all our plots because there's a chance if you don't put your plots down. If you put your plots down, then we can at least pick them up at a later date and move them. But if you don't put them down and then it goes full, then you're stuck. Sweet crossover. It's good to know. Nice. Fluffer nutters. All right. So what I'm going to do, it seems like the questions are dying. Well, not dying, but closing up. So like I said, if you have any more questions, and this goes for everyone, even if you think it's a question that people may want to know, just chuck it in the clean questions. At least we can answer that on that side there. So final statements before we close up. So the 18th of June is the start of a new era. Stand by your leaders, support one another, and let's create a legacy that will be talked across the realms. Make Shipwrecked a household name. So we'll come across challenges as the game evolves, but there will be also many opportunities. So let's seize the moment. That first piece of stone that is laid is the start of greatness and something really special. So let's now go have some fun. And that's it. So hopefully you've done all your theory crafting, your planning, and whatnot. And then I'll be in touch with a few other bits and pieces. So I've got the welcome document coming out. We'll discuss village allocation, and then we're probably going to look at some building design as well, and any other new recruits. So if you do have friends, family, or anyone that does want to join us, please let them know, and then we can give them a link to the form, and we'll see how we go. Oh, and most exciting news is we're going to Freya. Is that how you say it? Freya. We're going to Freya. Would a server live countdown timer be wanted? Not sure if that's a thing or whatnot. Lieutenant Biscuit, I'm usually there for the countdowns. But with all this bloody admin work I have to use my computer for, it's hard to chuck a Twitch stream up with a countdown. So there's a few people on Twitch doing the countdowns, that's for sure. No worries, bro. Freya. Is that how you say it? Freya. All right, guys. I'll finish it there. If you want to jump in the voice chat, we can go sit there and chit chat and chin wag for a little bit longer. We'll see you there. All right, guys. See you soon.